Hi, welcome back friends. In today's video, we'll be discussing a tool to draw flowcharts professionally. We all use flowcharts, at least in my engineering days, as well as for my masters. I used to draw flowcharts using Microsoft Word or even Microsoft PowerPoint. At the time, that was the best tool to do that. But as of now, we do have multiple platforms and multiple applications through which you will be able to draw a professional flowchart. So today I will introduce a new tool to professionally draw these kinds of flowcharts. Not only flowcharts, even something like a Kanban picture or Kanban chart or even an organization chart can be drawn using this particular tool. So we'll start from the scratch. We'll slowly move into the thing and we'll try to draw three typical diagrams using this particular tool. So we'll start with a very basic flowchart, and we'll move into a bit more complex picture, and from there we'll try to go into something called as an interactive flowchart, right? So I hope this information is useful, and together we can learn something new today, right? So let's move into the computer, and from there I will introduce the application to you, right? So as the initial part, I'll go into the browser and I'll search for something called as draw.io. So this is a website, and this is basically the web application. From here itself, you will be able to do almost everything. But if you want it to locally run in your computer, then you can go for something like download draw.io, right? You can go into this particular option. Yeah, from there also you'll be getting, but this is the official part where you'll be able to download this particular thing and you can run internally in your computer. So this is what it will look like. Again, both the layouts are very similar, so you don't have to download if you don't want to do that, right? So today I will go with the web application so that it is easy for everyone, right? So in this, in the starting itself, it will ask whatever we are trying, it has to be saved somewhere, right? Do we have to locally download it into the computer, or you can opt for Google Drive or OneDrive, or you can even opt for something like GitHub or GitLab, right? I have personally used OneDrive as well as Google Drive associated with this particular application, and both works well and fine. So for this demonstration, what I'll use is I will go with this particular option, that is the device. Inside the device, what I will do is I will click on create a new diagram. There are so many templates which are available in this particular option. So to start with, we'll go with the blank diagram. So it will ask where it should be saved. So I will go into this PC. In this PC, I will go to this particular drive, and I have already made a folder for this particular trial. There I will save it as trial 1, right? By default, this will be saved as something called as XML file. You can have SVG, PNG, or any of these options as the editable format. But for now, what I will do is I will not change that. I will go with the default XML format, and once the name is given, I will give save, and I will click on create. Right. Click on again save, and once you click on that, the whole application will open up. So this will be the layout, and as you could see, the name is trial1.drawio. That is the file extension they have given it. Right. So first thing you will notice is that there are grids in this particular canvas, and the default paper size is something like A4. you will be able to change this particular paper size over here, and the same can be changed from something like, if you go into edit, sorry, if you go into file and if you go into something like page setup, from there also you will be able to change the paper size. Similarly, you can change the grid size. I will show you what the grid size means. And similarly, if you want to have a background image, then you can you can give that particular image over here. So for the demonstration purpose, I will not use any background color. Instead, I will go with the same transparent background. So the grid option is basically this particular rows and columns of this particular smaller cells. You can increase or decrease the size of the cell by clicking on this particular option. If you are increasing the grid size, then this will look something similar to this thing, and you can similarly opt for decreasing the size also. Again, the A4 size, it can either be used as a portrait or it can be used as a landscape. And for moving in this particular canvas, you can opt for Alt, you can press Alt key, and you can go with the mouse scroll option to zoom in and out of the image. So let's say if you are zoomed into the image and if you want to move to any of the corners, then what you can do is you can press on spacebar. Sorry, once you press on the spacebar, your cursor moves into something like this cross mark, and then you will be able to move to the corners of this particular zoomed in image. Again, to zoom out, you can press Alt key and you can press scroll wheel to move out of the image. So what I will do is I will go with this particular option, and as our first task, what we will do is we will draw a very basic, very minimal flowchart, right? So there are so many options through which you will be able to select any of these particular symbols. But to go with flowchart, I will not go with general. Again, general also has almost everything which is needed for the flowchart. But as the name states, flowchart is a separate tab. So we'll go into that flowchart tab. From there, we'll start with the very basic, this option. This is the start button, right? So there we can type our text. Once you click on this particular shape, we can alter the style from this particular tab. Similarly, if you want to edit the text or if you want to configure the format of the text, then you can go into this particular tab. By default, this will be the font size and 12 will be the fonts. This will be the font and this will be the font size. You can increase or decrease, make it bold, make it underlined. All those options are over here. Make it central aligned, make it middle aligned. All those options are there. If you don't want to wrap the word, then you can untick this particular option. So almost all options are visible over here. So what I can do is I can go with a larger size. 15 is good, it seems, and I will go with the bold option. Then for the style, what I will do is, for now I will not give any style. Later I will edit the styles together, right? So once you've done that, the corners, like this is one corner, this is one corner, this is one corner, this is one corner, and all the midpoints are also marked. By clicking on the corner, we can increase or decrease the size of the shape, right? So that is one option. Then by clicking on the midpoint, we can add additional blocks into this particular canvas. So if you could click over here, then if I want something like another execution statement, then I can click on this particular option. So automatically this particular arrow will come. And if you can click on the particular arrow, then you can alter the shape again, the width, line width. By default, the width of the line is something like 1. You can increase or decrease the line width. You can have dotted lines, you can have normal lines, you can have this type of lines, you can have code set of lines, right? So many options are there. You can tweak around these particular things to get the specific result you want. And once it is connected, as you could see, whenever we are moving the block, then automatically the arrows will also move. So you don't have to worry about moving the shape initially and then moving the line again. So automatically this will be moved. So here I will write this is the execution statement 1. So I will click it, I will name it as E1. After E1 there is one other option through which you will be able to do the same, right? So let us say this is a data statement, right? Something if you want to display something, then you will be opting for this particular option. So if I click on this particular option and I will say this is data 1 statement, and I don't think this is bold, so I'll make it bold. So this is the data 1 statement. So from here also you will be able to click on any of these things and copy it to this particular canvas, but then the arrow will not be there. So after copying it, what you should do is you should connect this thing to the other thing. Once you connect, then you don't have to worry. Even if you move, then it will automatically move, right? So let us say after this thing we have a decision box. So decision box always have two options. One will be yes and other will be no, right? Or it will be something like one will be true and other will be false, right? So let us say this one has also got two options. One to here, right? Execution statement, and other to here. So what I will say is this is E1, right? So we'll say this is execution statement 2 and this is execution statement 3, right? But again, this one is not bold. This one is bold. So what I can do is I can edit style or copy style. Once I copy style, I can click on this particular option and paste style. So whatever the style it was there in this particular option, it will be directly copied to this particular option. Again, I can copy style. I can click on this particular option and I can paste style, so that this will be bold again, right? So let us assume this one is yes, then this one is no. So let us see, after this we have one more decision box. So what I will do is I will again click on one more decision box, and this one has also got something like two options. So let us assume this is E4. Once let us say if it is not there, what we'll do is we'll have something like a data box and we'll display the thing, right? So this, let us assume this is D2, right? And we'll connect this thing, and whatever decision box we are having, let us say I will keep it as if. Let us say this is also if, right? So now as you can see, there is if I want to add one more, there is no space over here, right? So but we can add one more. Let us say I am concluding this particular and flowchart to end over here, so I will keep something similar to this thing over here. So what happens is that this particular software automatically gives you space by adding one more A4 sheet to this particular place. So it shows that this is the border, but if you want to have one more additional sheet, they will provide that. So that is automatically done. You don't have to go to the page settings and change the page arrangement. It automatically comes. So what I will do is I will keep it as end, right? So from here what it does is it again goes to end, right? But if from here what if it is yes, it will go down. If it is no, it will go to here, and from here it will go to this particular option, right? This is for just the demonstration, right? So we'll keep something like this. Oh wait, something similar to this thing, right? So I believe I have configured everything. Now I will try to make it into a single page. I don't think it is possible. Yeah, it is possible, right? Whenever we configure it into the single page, then automatically the other pages gets deleted. So that is another advantage, right? Now if I want to group some things together, like if I move this particular option, only this particular thing get moved, right? Only the arrow gets adjusted. What if I want to group the whole thing into a single image. So the grouping option is there. If I group this particular thing, now if I move, everything moves together. So that is one thing. Now what I can do is I will ungroup this particular option, and what I will do is I will give some green color for the start function. For the end functions, what I will give is I will give something like a red color button, right? For the data tab, we'll give something like orange. For the decision box, we'll give something like this color. For execution statements, we'll give, again, if you could press on control and select, then we can select multiple shapes or multiple tabs, right? So I'll give something like blue. So this is how you can give styles to these particular options. So color, again, there are multiple color options which you can choose from. Again, whatever I have given is something very simple, right? Now what if there are two options for the decision box. One should be yes and other should be no, right? So if you are looking into this particular option, you will not get which one is yes and other one, which one is no, right? So for that, what you can do is you can go into the arrange, you can go into the insert option, and you can click on text option. So this is one way of taking that. Otherwise, what you can do is you can go into the general, and from here you can have the text option, right? So once the text option is there, you can delete the text part and you can give it as whatever you need. I will be keeping it as yes, right? And I'll be keeping here also as yes, right? Here I'll be keeping it as no, right? Again, Control C, Control V will work. Control C will be for copy, and Control V will be for pasting it, right? So I have kept yes, no, yes, and no, right? Now we want something like a title for this particular flowchart, right? So for that, what you can do is, again, you can go into the text option and you can click text option, and where you can give the flowchart name. So this is flowchart 1, right? So you can increase the size by going to the text and increasing this particular size. You can make it bold, right? So 40 will be good, 44 will be good, right? So 1 is coming in the other part, right? So what you can do is we can increase the size of this particular thing so that it can come in a straight line. So flowchart, right? So what I can do is I can keep it over here. Right, so this will be good. Even you can give underline if you want to have underline, so that this will look good. So once you complete this particular thing, you can go into the file and you can save this particular file. You can even export it into any of these options. Let us say JPEG. If you want to export, you can save it as export, right? That is one way to do. Otherwise, what you can do is you can save it as JPEG also. You can opt for JPEG and you can save it as trial 1, right? So what I will do is I will go into the downloads and I will copy this thing. I will go into that particular folder draw.io and I will paste it over here. So you get one PNG file and one JPEG file. Now if you could go into something like PowerPoint, if the background is white, then you don't have an issue. But if you opt for something like a darker design, something like this one, then if you paste something like this into this particular option, then this will not look nice, right? The background white basically destroys this particular image. So in such cases, you can opt for the PNG file. PNG file will not have that background white, so this will look much nicer, right? If you could reduce it, and if you could remove these things, right? This is somewhat okay. If you could tweak around, then you'll get a very good flowchart. And so this is the first part, or the first session I was looking for. So this is the very basic thing, right? So hope you understood the basic things, how to move around in this particular tool and do these kinds of things, right? Now the second part, what we'll do is, again, I will go back. I will create a new option. I will click again on the blank diagram, and I will opt for create option. And here what I will do is, this is trial 2, right? I will be clicking on save. I will be clicking on trial 2. Right. So again, whatever I have told in the previous thing, it basically matches here also. Here what I will do is, here Tech4Tech, let us assume Tech4Tech is running a pharmaceutical company, and our pharmaceutical company doesn't spend much on marketing, and it basically has one e-cart platform through which they basically sells 3 particular products, nothing more, only 3 particular products. So if doctor prescribes this particular medicine, then the patient has to come to this particular e-cart and has to order this particular medicine. Even doctor himself can order this particular medicine from his backend, and the patient can opt for something like a cash on delivery option, right? So what I am going to draw in this particular flowchart is basically a SOP for the logistic division. Once an order comes into this particular backend or into the e-cart, how it is fulfilled, how the product is sent into the courier partner. So the steps in between have to be monitored, and it has to be showcased through a flowchart. So this is what I am trying to do, right? For that, again, you can select any of these particular tools. So for my so I select this particular thing. It is basically called as select. Now you can even create table using this particular option, right? The option it is let us say if I want to add rows after, rows below, any of these kinds. Again, if I didn't click on this particular option, I can draw a table very easily using this particular option. So this is another way. So the default structure, something like a list, it was there in the general, so I basically selected it. You can always create something of your own, that doesn't matter. So I selected this because this has got 3 items. So let us assume our pharmaceutical company, Tech4Tech pharmaceutical company, has got 3 items, and we are going to sell this particular items. So I will write this as Tech4Tech e-cart, right? E-C-A-R-T. So this is a cart which is selling these particular products, right? Right. So here, if you could go over here you can see that we can search for any of the shapes if it is not visible over here. So if I could get a cart structure and I could place a cart structure over this particular tab, then it will be easy for others to understand. The basic idea of making these particular diagrams is to understand others about the concept and the flows of So next what I will do is I will go into this particular option to search for a shape. So this is basically an e-cart, right? So if I could get a shape of a cart and if I could place it over here, then it will be easy for others to understand, right? So the ultimate aim of any picture, any flowchart is to make them understand the flow of the data or the flow of the work, right? So you can go over here and you can search for any of the shapes. So if I could get a shape something like a cart, then I could place it over here so that people will be able to understand it more easily. Again, the concept of flowcharts or concept of something similar to this thing is to make people understand the concept very simply, right? So for doing that, what I will do is I will search for something like cart. So we do have some images of cards. We can opt for any of these things. So let's say I will opt for this particular option. So what I will do is I will click on that particular option. I will reduce the size and I will click on something similar to this thing. Right? I will place it on the right side of this particular tab. So whenever this thing moves, automatically I want this thing also to move, right? So what I will do is I will select everything and I will group it. Right? Right. So this thing is finished. Now what I told you that what we can do is we can create something like an doctor login and something like a patient login, and both these people can order these items using this particular e-card. So this is what I want to convey. So what I will do is, again, I will go with something like this thing and I will say this is doctor login. Right, under doctor login, he will have multiple options, something like to prescribe to others, to directly order from the card. So those options will be there inside this particular option. So I am not right now bothered about that, but we'll have a doctor login. Next is so we'll have something like a patient login. Right, patient login. So what we can say is that one option is that a patient can directly buy or purchase this particular items from this particular Beef for Tech e-card, right? So what I will do is I will connect these things using an arrow. This is one option. Now other option is that doctor can also directly order something from this particular card, and he will order it to one of his patients, and if they can opt something like a cash on delivery, then he will be able to do that. Then other option is that doctor can give the prescription to the patient, and then the patient can order this thing from the this particular e-card. So there are multiple options through which they will be able to do these things, right? So this is good. Now for making it simpler, what I can do is I will search for something like doctor. If I can get some shapes of doctor, then I can paste it somewhere around here, right? So there are multiple options from where I will be able to choose any one, right? So I will be choosing this particular one. I will be reducing the size again, right? This will be good, right? So I'll be keeping it on top of this doctor login. So what I will do is I will click on this one and I will group it, so that even if I move it, it will not be an issue. Right? So this looks good. Now what I will do is there is patient login, right? So I will search for patient. Even for patient, we do have multiple options, right? So what I will do is I will click on this particular option. Again, I will reduce the size of this particular option, and I will click on top of this particular patient logo, patient tab. I will click on it and I will group that particular option. So from this, what we can understand is that there is something called as doctor login and there is something called as patient login. Doctor can directly order items from e-card. Patient can also directly order something from e-card. Then if it is necessary, doctor can prescribe something to the patient, and then patient can order something from e-card. So this is one part, right? So this is how it will go, right? So what I will do is so this is how it will be. Now once the order comes into this particular e-card, what happens next? So we can say that we need a backend, right? Backend, it is mandatory. So what I will do is I will show a computer. So I'll search for one computer. Let us say this is this. Let us assume this is the computer. I will enlarge it, and let us assume, let us give a name for this particular option. So we'll go into this particular option and we'll name it as backend. So once a order is being updated in this particular record, then what will happen is that it will be delivered to this particular backend, right? It will be delivered to this particular backend. Once it reaches the backend, it has to be transferred to the corresponding employee. Let us assume there are 3 items, right? There can be combinations of items also. So let us assume there are 3 employees, right? So what I will do is I will click on this particular option, and I will show you person, right? This option is there, right? So what I will do is I will click on this particular option, and I will click on something like blue. I will click on 3 persons, at least images of 3 persons, and I will change this one to orange and this one to blue, or not blue, like green. So let us assume there are 3 employees actively waiting for this particular orders, and once the order is reached into the backend, from this pool of employees, again I will group this particular option. So from this group pool of employees, this input is also given to this backend, and backend will select one employee, any one employee, and he will ask that particular employee to do the remaining work. So remaining work will be packing, then giving it to the courier partner, right? It might be Indian Post, it might be Blue Dart, whatever courier partner we have, the item has to be given to the courier partner, right? Once it is done, it has to be updated in the backend portal, right? It has to be updated in the portal. So these are the 3 steps which these employees has to. So as per their timings, as per their shifts, these 3 things has to be done by these employees. So what I will do is I will repeat these steps, and I will group them, and this also will be grouped, this also I will group, right? Again I will draw set. So I'll be connecting all these things so that it can be right. So what I will do is I will select these items and will give something like blue color, right? Then orange, this one, right? Set, I have selected it, right? So this one, again the grouping is, yeah, we'll go with ungroup, this one, and this one. I will give orange. This one will be something like green. Control set. So what I will do is I will ungroup and I will give green, right? Again from here I can connect to this point, and similarly I can connect to this particular point, right? So this is how it can be done, right? Now what I will do is I will copy set. So again we have grouped this particular item, so once you copy, that the whole thing will be copied. So what I will do is I will keep this particular person here, and if I could make copies here, I will keep this particular person, and similarly I will keep this person. So this person is responsible for doing all these kinds of things, right? So I hope this one is complete. Once this is completed, what you can do is you can go into, again similarly what you can do is you can export as JPEG. That is one option. So it will automatically save it. Otherwise, what you can do is you can go into save as option, and you can save as PNG. Right. So that also can be done over here. So what you will do is we go into the show in folder option. You can cut and copy it into this particular folder. So these are the images. It will look something similar to this thing, right? So we do have something like PNG as well as JPEG. Again, if you could copy it into this particular option, PNG will look like something similar to this, right? This looks okay. So this is how it will look like. So these are the two flowcharts or process flows which we have drawn until now. So this concludes my second part. Now to explain the third part, what I will do is I will go into again new. I can click on again blank diagram, and I will click on trial 3. Right. Again I will save. So it will open as a separate tab. Now what I will do is this basically the third part basically explains or creates an something like an interactive flowchart, right? So for that, what I will do is I will create something like this Beck4Tech has got 3 set of institutions. Let us assume Beck4Tech has got 3 set of institutions, right? So we'll start with Beck4Tech. Right. From there, what I will do is this is Beck4Tech. Under Beck4Tech, we'll have something like we'll go with this thing. Let us say first part is it has got an engineering college. Right. So we'll increase this particular thing. What we'll do is inside this thing, right? So let us assume this is the engineering college. Now what I will do is I will create something small, and I will click over here, and I will name it as engineering college. Right. And everything in this engineering college is being monitored or is being managed by something like a principal, right? Under principal, we do have something like 2 HODs, head of the departments, who will be monitoring the things. So what I will do is I will connect this one as well as this one, right? Here I will write HOD, head of the department 1. Here what I will write is HOD, head of the department 2, right? Under the head of the department, we do have something like, we'll go with something like professors. Under professors, we'll have something like assistant professors, and under assistant professors we'll have something like students, right? Again, the same process is followed over here also, right? Let us assume it is being followed over here also, right? So under this HOD also we will have something like professors. Under the professors we'll have assistant professors, and under the assistant professors we'll have students, right? Next, what we'll do is we'll copy and we'll copy the same over here, and we say that this is something like an arts college, right? Arts college. So Beckford Tech has got one engineering college, and as well as it has got an arts college. It also has something like a finishing school, right? Let us assume it has got a finishing school. Right. So remaining everything is same. Engineering college is there, arts college is there, and finishing school is there. So my aim is to highlight, whenever I press on this engineering college, I want to make only the engineering college, this part visible. And if I click on arts college, only this part should be visible. And if I click on this particular option, that is the finishing school, only this particular part of this particular image should be visible. So what can I do to make something similar to that? So what I will do is I will click on all engineering college tabs so that it will look nice, and we'll go something like we'll not go for this particular, we have already opted for this particular option, right? We'll go something darker. Yeah, we'll go for this green. We'll select the arts college, and we'll click on blue. Similarly, I will click on this particular option. Sorry, I will click on this particular option, and I will click on something like red. Right. Now what I will do is I will click on this particular Beckford Tech, and I will go with something like orange. It will be good, right? So what I will do is I will duplicate the whole page 3 times. One for engineering college, one for arts college, and one for finishing school. So what I will do is I will duplicate this particular page. Again, I will duplicate it one more time, and I will duplicate it one more time. And for the last page, what I will do is I will click over here, and I will write it as finishing school. Rename. And for this particular tab, what I will do is I will rename it as arts college. Right. And for this thing, what I will do is I will rename it as engineering college. And I will click on rename. And for the first page, what I will do is I accidentally duplicated the whole thing, but instead what you should do is you can name it as Beckford Tech colleges. Sorry. Right. Now what I will do is in the first option, what I will do is I will delete everything else. I will be needing only the first part. So this is one option. Here what I will do is this tab is basically for the engineering college, right? So what I will do is other than engineering college, I will delete everything. I will make it into this particular option. Right. In the arts college, what I will do is I will keep arts college, and I will delete everything else. So I will delete this thing as well as I will delete this thing. Only arts college will be kept. In the finishing school, what I will do is again I will be keeping the finishing school part, and I will be deleting everything else. Right. So I will be keeping over here. Now what I will do is I will click on this particular option, and we do have something called as link option, or linking one particular page to the other particular page, right? So you can take it from here, or other option is you can click over here and you can go into the range and you can go into the insert option, and inside the insert option we do have something like link. So this engineering college has to be linked to the engineering college page, right? So what I will do is I will click on this particular option, and I will click on this particular option, and I will click insert, right? So this is how it can be done. So from here we'll again we'll go into the edit link, we'll go into this particular option, and I'll click on apply, right? So the link has been added into this particular. Here also what I will do, again I will right click, I will edit link, I will go into this particular option and will click on Arts College, apply, right? Here also edit link, will go into the finishing school, and I will click on apply. So all the three links are. So once you click on this particular option, it automatically goes into this particular option. So what if I want to go back also? Like once you go into here, I need to go back, right? So for that particular option, what I will do is I will click a page, and I will say here back to colleges, right? So this I'll be keeping it as this particular, right? Now I'll be editing this particular link, and I'll be clicking on the first tab. I'll be clicking on apply, right? I'll copy and I will paste it to almost everywhere. Again, here also I'll be adding a link, I'll be applying it. Finishing schools also I'll be doing the same. I'll be copying it over here, I'll be editing the link, and I'll be clicking on this particular option, and I'll click on OK. Once this is ready, if you save it as an image, you will not get the feeling of this particular option. So whatever we did, it has to be interactively given to someone else, right? Then only it will be useful. If it is going to be stationary, then there is no meaning in doing all these things. So one option is you can share from here to the mail ID of the person who you want to show this particular image to. Or what you can do is you can go into the file and you can do something like, again, you can save it in this particular option, that is draw.io. You can again go into the file and you can publish it as a link, right? So you can include all the pages and you can go into this particular option, right? You can copy it. Once you copy it to the clipboard, then you can close this particular option. Then you can go into a new tab, and then from every board you will be able to click on this particular option. Okay. Now if I go again, if I click back, it goes back. If I go into the Arts College and if I click back, it's going back. Finishing school, if I click back, it is going back, right? So this is how you can work. Again, this is just for the demonstration. Whatever things I have handled is nothing meaningful. So if you have a very good content, and if you want to make that particular content into interactive slides or interactive something similar to these things, then it will look nice, and you can directly send that link to the person who you want to showcase this particular option. So that will look nice. From the you can embed this particular image code into something like your mail, and you can directly send this particular thing to the particular option, particular person you want to showcase this particular flowchart, right? Hope you have learned something new from this particular session. So that's all from my side. Please subscribe to our channel if you want to have similar contents, and please learn something new every day, right? Thank you. Bye bye.